with advanced optics. The extreme
Because he had the
cold,
habit
which
of
ranged
it.
anywhere from -20 to -40 degrees Fahrenheit, caused frequent weapon malfunctions among his fellow soldiers.
Hey guys, loud guys! Today we are going to watch Simo Häyhä, the deadliest sniper in military history. And this might be one of the most interesting videos to watch because, like, how can you be the deadliest sniper? It is the only way that you might have killed a lot of people.
Simo Häyhä, is he Turkish or?
No,
what?
he is from Finland.
Oh, he's from Finland.
Yes, and he is the deadliest sniper. So it might be he might have killed hundreds and hundreds of people.
Maybe he might be a mastermind.
He is, of course. That is how you can kill so many people. Because normally, what we have seen with snipers, they have to continuously change places because they, after shooting a bullet, their place gets known and people start hitting them. But I think so he might be a master of it and he might be changing it again and again. So let's start this video.
When World War II broke out in 1939, the Soviet Union decided to invade Finland while everyone else was preoccupied with the war in Europe. But a sniper named Simo Häyhä came to Finland's defense. Häyhä allegedly eliminated a staggering 505 enemy soldiers.
500 soldiers?
The single deadliest sniper in history. Today we're looking at the man Simo Häyhä and his unbelievable marksmanship.
I thought 100,
But before we
200,
get
300.
started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel.
500.
Wanted it that way.
Wow.
Alright, let's get sniping.
The White Death.
As you might imagine, the invading Soviet soldiers grew to be straight up terrified of Häyhä. Having to patrol the blanched Finnish wilderness with the knowledge that Häyhä could be out there waiting to ping them with a spectacular long-distance shot earned him the nickname Deadliest, which is Russian for White Death.
White Death.
However, Häyhä's fellow Finnish soldiers had a completely different name for him. They called him Taika Ampuja, Magic Shooter.
Magic
While that
shooter.
nickname may have been as accurate as Häyhä himself, we have to admit it is somewhat less intimidating than White Death. Simo's exact sniper count varies depending on the source. Some suggest he found
500
as many
kills
as
in 100 days.
542 Soviet soldiers with his
In
rifle,
only 100
but no one
days.
claims he eliminated any less than 505. This makes him the most effective sniper in any war, with
5
Soviet
per day.
sniper Ivan Sidorenko sitting at a close second with 500 kills. However, Häyhä's count may even be higher. Rather than stay at a comfortable distance behind his sniper rifle for the entire war, Häyhä may have also cut down several hundred enemy combatants with a
my
submachine
God,
gun.
look at
If
this.
true,
Wow.
that would put his count at approximately 800. Simo, that is a frightening number.
You can use a
Impressive,
submachine
sure,
gun
but
also.
Holy
Wow.
cow, you're really good at your job. The Winter War lasted for a single winter, as its name suggests, which means Häyhä was putting in serious work. In order to achieve his staggering record, Häyhä was eliminating an average of 5 to 6 enemy soldiers every day. Of course, some days were better than others. Häyhä racked up a terrifying 40 confirmed kills in a single day, scoring 25 and 20 on 2 other record days. The cloud of perpetual death in which he lived saw him promoted from corporal to second lieutenant, the biggest rank jump in the history of Finland's military. Häyhä did not use a scope to forge his legendary sniper.
Without
count.
scope?
He preferred to use the plain old iron sight on his rifle. Yeah,
Wow.
no scope. He's just an all-around old-fashioned badass.
Oh.
Beyond being hardcore, there was a strategic reason for this, beyond just showing off. Häyhä recognized that scopes made his enemies an easy target. In addition to making the target slightly bigger, scopes would glint in the sunlight, allowing Häyhä to spot enemy snipers before they spotted him. At the time, every Finnish citizen was required to do 1 year of military service, and Häyhä had done his 14 years earlier, back in 1925. That was the extent of his military experience. He did join the Finnish Civil Guard as reservist, which is essentially the equivalent to the US National Guard, but he stuck to his civilian life of hunting and farming, right up until the Soviets decided to invade in 1939, at which point he was summoned back to service. If his hunting record was anything like his war record, we suspect the deer around Häyhä's home had a nickname for him too. After he completed his year of mandatory service in 1925, Häyhä was given the option to purchase his service weapon, a standard bolt-action rifle. He bought the gun and spent the next decade and a half mastering it. When he was called back to duty during the Winter War, Häyhä brought his old bolt-action rifle, turning down a more modern rifle with advanced optics. The extreme
Because he had the
cold, which
habit of
ranged
it.
anywhere from -20 to -40 degrees Fahrenheit, caused frequent weapon
Extreme.
malfunctions among his fellow soldiers. But Häyhä's experience with his bolt-action BFF allowed him to keep the gun functional throughout the winter.
Wow.
While only having minimal military experience, Häyhä wasn't possessed by the lord of incredible aim. He developed his skill from being a competitive sharpshooter, having grown up a few miles away from the Civil Guard shooting range, which held annual contests. Häyhä regularly participated in these competitions, packing his house full of trophies. Among his accomplishments was the ability to hit a target with his rifle 16 times in a minute at a range of 500 feet.
16
Talent
times a minute!
supernatural.
Oh,
Wow.
fascinating.
Häyhä was deployed to the Kola battlefield, where he and 31 other soldiers were tasked with holding off an invading force of 4,000 Soviet troops. Despite having fewer men on the roster than
How?
a college football team, Häyhä's
How?
group managed to hold their ground for the entire winter. That's some good goal line defense right there. He and his fellow Finns had a few other advantages beyond his Angel of Death status as a sniper. For instance, the Soviet troops all wore bright green uniforms, which made them stand out like decorating Christmas trees against the snowy white landscape.
Of
What
course.
also didn't help the Soviets was they lacked officers with any leadership skills, mainly because Stalin had them all executed when he purged the USSR of any potential political opponents. And even though the Soviet invasion of Finland was technically successful, they only managed to capture a relatively small amount of border territory, leaving the rest of the country intact. All told, the Soviets suffered nearly 400,000 casualties during the Winter War,
bigger loss.
compared to the 66,000 suffered by Finland. Most snipers shoot while lying flat on their stomachs because it gives enemies a smaller target
Yes.
to aim at. Häyhä fired from a sitting position because he felt the position was better for his aim. He didn't worry too much about making himself a bigger target, as he was just a biscuit over 5 feet tall and would conceal himself in snowbanks and put snow in his mouth to hide his breath. Additionally, Häyhä would pass
Wow,
smoke in
this
front of
man
his
is
rifle barrel or pour water on it to
amazing.
freeze it, so that smoke would not rise from it after he fired and give away his position. And in perhaps the biggest departure from sniper etiquette, rather than going for the head, Häyhä aimed for the center mass of his targets, which is effective in wartime, but won't do him any favors on the Black Ops 4 leaderboards.
An exploding bullet to the jaw.
Häyhä's reputation as the John Wick of Finnish snipers eventually drew the ire of the Soviet commanders, who finally grew tired of his nonsense and began targeting him directly. Because getting anywhere near Häyhä was out of the question, they began hammering his general location with artillery strikes.
Oh.
When those didn't work, the Soviets sent teams of counter-snipers to take him out, but Häyhä, being the sniper's sniper, dispatched them with bone-chilling ease. Finally, one Soviet sniper got lucky and blasted Häyhä in the jaw with an exploding round.
Oh no.
Despite being described by one friend as
Oh.
having half of his head missing, Häyhä refused to die. After days of reconstructive surgery, he finally regained consciousness the day after the Winter War had ended.
Refused to die? A long life. Wow. Even
Despite
after
getting
by
a portion of his face blown entirely off his dome in a time when medicine was still largely experimental, Häyhä survived World War II and went back to hunting and farming. The Finnish government actually gave him a farm in 1961, presumably both to reward him for his service, and they probably wanted to stay on his good side.
Just a farm.
Häyhä took up dog breeding and continued
Drolet.
hunting, winning the Ruokolahti Hunting Society's Game Cup 5 years in a row. In 1970, he moved into a small apartment where he lived out the rest of his days before passing away at age 96 in 2002. That's right, the
96,
deadliest
he lived
sniper
very
of
long.
World War II lived long enough to have witnessed the rise of popularity of NSYNC. Simo Häyhä left his quiet farm life in the winter of 1939 to become the most effective sniper in history, racking up over 500 confirmed kills without even using a scope before returning home to live out the rest of the 20th century in peace.
This title perfectly goes on him. He is the deadliest sniper. I mean, he was holding the snow in his mouth. But you know what I think? That he must be rewarded with some other things too. They just give him farm. What do you think?
I think at that time farm was the only thing they could give.
Huh.
So they gave him farm, and I think they might have given him a lot of things because Finland is a rich government, I think so.
I wanted to know about his personal life. Do he has wife, kids?
He might have, because like thing is like, but his face got like half broken.
You know that line, he refused to die.
And he had a bullet blasted near him, but still he was like, no, I will not die. And like, who was that one sniper who like was able to hit him should be also given an award, because he felt like the one of the most, unreachable snipers. And he was killing everybody, like 500 people. Just imagine that, killing 500 people,
And 16 in a minute.
that was
is huge.
so
That is huge.
nice. And the thing is like, he did 45 in a day, he did 25 in one day, he did 20 in one
Also,
day.
he was doing all such things without a scope.
Yes. And that too just with the iron sight. So it just shows how big of a man those were. And there were some really great men in World War II time. Like very, very. And whenever there was need of them to protect their country, they just came out and
They
protected.
just forget everything and they are just only focusing on one thing.
So what do you guys think about it? Do let us know in the comment section below. So do like, share and
Subscribe.
bye.
Bye.